What's up, y'all? The NFL season for 2024 has closed. We now have the full playoff picture for the playoffs here, with the winner of the two representing the NFC and AFC colliding for the Super Bowl number 59 in New Orleans this February. February 9th at 6:30 p.m. I think that's Eastern time, to be specific. So let's look at the bracket. I have it on my other monitor here. So for the AFC wildcard game, because the Chiefs obviously have to bye, and on the NFC side, after the Lions whooped the Vikings, which we'll talk about in a different video, after I just gave Sam Darnold some props, major props, like a couple videos ago. So we have this playoff picture set with the Lions having to bye, Chiefs have to bye. So we're getting Broncos at Bills. I'll go down to AFC first. So Broncos at Bills, Steelers at Ravens, Chargers at Texans, right? Kansas City with the bye. Now on the NFC side, you have Packers at Eagles, Commanders at Bucks, Vikings at Rams, with the Lions having the bye. This is why people say stuff about stat padding. This is why it's important to win your division, no matter how long it takes. Even like for Ravens example, they had to play and win that last game to secure a home playoff game, and that's important because you don't want to have to go on the road every single game in the playoffs. It's really hard to win on the road, let alone in the playoffs, for like 3 to 4 games straight, if you count Super Bowl if you get there too. So it's like that's a lot of games to go through, to go and do all that. So it's important at least one of them be at home. Now, ideally, the number one seed's so cool and important because you have a bye and you're not playing, potentially, depending on when you lock that up. If you lock it up early enough, you're not playing for 2 to 3 weeks, which has bit some teams in the past, like the Ravens. The Ravens did it, and they got blown out, I think, by the Titans or the Bills or something. It just didn't work out that well. So the one seed for teams who are serious, have great coaching and discipline and focus, the number one seed is a big, huge help, especially if you have a lot of injuries like the Lions do. They really need that one seed, and they got it with a dominant win on Sunday Night Football to end the season. So what do I think about these matchups? So let's go down these matchups. See, I'm going to give my predictions. We'll start again with the AFC. Broncos at Bills. I believe this will be a closer game than people think. I think Bo Nix is the real deal, and I'm not high on Oregon quarterbacks at all. I was never a big Marcus Mariota fan. I did believe in Justin Herbert because I loved what I saw on tape, and I was like the only Justin Herbert supporter until like last year / this year, mostly this year. The other people joined in on that, but I always believed in Justin Herbert. Did not believe in Bo Nix, not going to lie to you. But he's playing really well, and honestly, if he started slightly earlier, he probably would have won Rookie of the Year. So, but I think the Bills are going to win this game. I think the Bills are a really solid football team right now, playing at a high level. Josh Allen, obviously, MVP frontrunner. And I just like what I see. So I predict the Bills are going to win that game. Not in convincing fashion, though. I think the Buccaneers. I think the Broncos are going to have a pretty good game plan put together. They know what to expect from the Bills. The Bills should know what to expect from the Broncos, but Josh Allen's play will get them a dub, I believe. Now, especially in the Broncos secondary, there's some questions I have, and I think Josh Allen's going to exploit that. Now, kind of like how Lamar did early in the season. Now, Steelers at Ravens, I think Ravens are going to win that game, and I think it's going to be in convincing fashion because I believe that the Ravens we've seen for the last like month and a half is way better than the Ravens who lost to the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and this time it's at the bank. And last time the Steelers were at the bank, they got blown out basically. So again, this will be Lamar's second time playing the Steelers at home since like 2020. Lamar doesn't lose at home to anyone that often, let alone in the playoffs. So I like this matchup. I think the Ravens have the Steelers' number, especially the tape they put on for Cincinnati. I did not like the tape to put on for the Eagles. I did not like the tape to put on for the Ravens at M&T Bank Stadium. I did not like. I don't see how they drastically turn it around. The only way they win this game is the Ravens beat themselves, which they've notoriously done through Lamar Jackson's tenure as quarterback. But especially this season, a lot of the self-inflicted penalties had, like the game against the Browns was a really sloppy offensive game. Defensively, it was shut out, and if that defense comes to the playoffs, they're destroying the Steelers. But if that Ravens offense comes out where they start slow for the first half, it's going to be really bad, and the Steelers can't take advantage of it. You don't want to play down to an opponent. You don't want to play down to an opponent and let them think they're going to win, because then they can win. These are professionals. So, Chargers at Texans. The AFC West is tough. 11-6 and not winning your division because the Chiefs are 15-2. Yeah. So I believe the Chargers are going to dominate this game and blow out the Texans. I don't believe in the Texans. The receiving core is shot. The receiving core is really shot. And CJ Stroud has been playing terrible football. I don't see how this well-coached Chargers team goes in and doesn't beat the bricks off the Texans. There is hope, Texans fans. There is hope. The hope lies in what version of CJ Stroud you get, because the Chargers are going to do their thing. You better hope that you get a really good play out CJ Stroud. You just need to, because Justin Herbert is going to do Justin Herbert things, even though his receiving core is really wonky. But I'll say this. It won't. The next round, the Chargers cannot go all playoff long having only one receiver do some work. The receiver core needs to chip in. And it's going to start in Houston, I believe. So that's that for the AFC. NFC, Packers, Eagles. Eagles. Well, I know Jordan Love got injured. I don't know if he's good though, but I think he got injured in the game in the last game. Either way, I think Eagles win this in convincing fashion. I don't think the Packers, their receiving core is real. The Packers are just really, they have played on disciplined football at the wrong time, mostly on the offensive side of the ball, and that is what's going to get them beat, because Philly offense is too powerful. Now, what version of Jalen Hurts are we getting? That's the only way the Packers win this game. I don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to be doing. If Jalen Hurts comes out here and plays some mediocre football and he can't pass the ball, he can't spread the ball around, throw open some of his receivers, they're going to lose this game, because the Packers defense is a true. Xavier McKinney, who should have been still a New York Giant, is playing unbelievable football, Pro Bowler. And the Packers defense will have something to say about this, but the Packers offense has times where they just stutter too much, and you can't do that at Philly. You just really can't. But I give Philly a win in convincing fashion. Commanders at Buccaneers. This can go either way, man. Mike Evans versus Lattimore. But new team for Lattimore. And this time in the postseason. That's really interesting. Baker Mayfield is playing unbelievable football. So is Jaden Daniels. But Todd Bowles is the head coach for the Buccaneers, I believe. He will have something for the Commanders. I really want the Commanders to win this game, but I think the Buccaneers at home, it is going to be tough for the Commanders to play, because I didn't like what I saw on tape versus the Falcons, and I think the Buccaneers are a lot better team than the Falcons, way more disciplined than the Falcons anyway, and Baker Mayfield is playing unbelievable football right now. I give the Buccaneers the edge on that, especially the number 3 seed, which I'm surprised I got number 3 seed. That's funny. All right, Vikings at Rams. Listen, this is the game that can go either way, man, because you have an opportunity for. It depends what version. If you get, I'm seeing Ghost Sam Darnold, you're not beating the Rams. I don't care how wishy-washy and how weird the Rams have been this season. When the playoffs are a different beast, and the Rams have a lot of guys on that squad that still have playoff experience with a very great head coach, disciplined, and offensively they can light you up. So really, this is going to be this is funny to say, I guess, is going to be a Brian Flores masterclass game. It's going to have to be. If the Vikings want a chance to not get whooped and embarrassed, if Sam Darnold wants an opportunity to reach anywhere near that 50 million, I think he already lost it by his last couple of games. I think he lost that 50 million he was seeking in the offseason. But if he wants to get a good payday, he's going to have to depend on Brian Flores, man. Brian Flores is going to have to play some great defensive. He's going to have to dial some stuff up to stop this Rams offense, which shouldn't be that. I mean, I really do believe in what Brian Flores is doing. I think he should be a favorite to be a head coach candidate somewhere. But the issue is the Vikings offense cannot do what they did last. I mean, the red zone inefficiency was crazy. The Vikings have to do better on offense to help their defense and release some of that pressure out. But so that game, I don't know if I gave an answer who won. I'm giving it to the Vikings because I just think they're going to wake up. I think Sam Darnold is going to do better. And I think they're going to call a better offensive game than they did. And what I mean by that is I think they're going to utilize the run a little bit more, take the ball out of Sam Darnold's hand a little bit more, because that's what you should do. I know Sam Darnold's been playing really well, but the tape still this season does not tell me he's Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. I guess Joe Burrow is more of a comp, obviously. So he's not Joe Burrow. Do not let this man throw he's thrown for a lot of yards. Yes, I understand. But he also has interceptions. And he also has a lot of incompletions. Don't put the ball in his hands. We don't need to. You paid Aaron Jones all that money for a reason. Obviously, you have Jay Jettas. Obviously, you have Addison. So obviously, you need to pass the ball, and you should. But what I'm saying is, get some more play action. Establish the run early. Get more play action. Get the ball, J-Jazz, in space. Get Addison in open space. You really, really can. Some of those deep balls were missing. It was there, but they were it was really wishy-washy. Jared Goff did everything he could to let the Vikings get back in this game, and they just couldn't capitalize on that. Part of it is definitely a lot of it is on Sam Darnold, but also I just think the play calling was not beneficial to what the Vikings offense has really strived in. The reason why they have 14 wins this season is because they did a great job establishing the run early, letting Sam Darnold pick them apart with some of these passes, getting Jay Jettas going a lot earlier than they did in the Lions game. And I mean, that red zone inefficiency, you can't do that. So I would say if you're going to get in the red zone this time, you're going to have to run the ball. You have to play some old school football, run the ball a lot more, and force some one-on-one matchups on the outside with your best receivers and see if they can win those matchups, give them a chance, throw the ball a lot better. He missed a lot of deep passes, a lot of passes over the middle. One to TJ Hawkinson, he missed, and it was just a killer. It was a real killer. I think it was a fourth down play, and it was wide open. So the offensive line needs to be a lot better. The offensive line didn't play that well, especially early on, so it messed up. You can just tell, anyone who watched football enough can tell that Sam Darnold was panicking mentally, or at least his clock was running a lot faster. Some of his timing was just really off, and for a lot of the routes that they like to run that offense, you need really good, any offense, you need good timing with your receivers and quarterback, but a lot of the timing was really off with a lot of these throws. Those are rhythm throws here and there, layered throws that Sam Darnold was missing, so that's why I say that. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. It's gonna be a fun weekend of football. I'll tell you that much. This might be the most fun football we get, and we might see a lot of upsets. We really might see a lot of upsets because these seedings I think are perfect. I think you're gonna get 2 blowouts. I think there will be 2 blowouts that will be really boring to watch unless you're a fan of the team or the players or something like that. But outside of that, I think there are going to be 2 blowouts. 1 upset at least. Like, I think there's going to be more upsets, but I think there's going to be legitimately 1 upset, and then there's going to be but overall should be decent and really fun football to watch. Hoping we get a snow game somewhere in there. I think it might be a snow game in Baltimore, to be honest with you. It might be. I do think the upset potential might be the Broncos. Broncos and Packers have that ability to do a huge upset, being the 7th seed, taking on the 2nd seed. I would not put it past the Commanders to upset the Buccaneers in Tampa, the 6th seed going against the 3rd seed there. So we'll see. But comment below, let me know what you think about the NFL season. Let me know what you think about my playoff predictions. What are your playoff predictions? What team did y'all team make the playoffs? Let me know what do you think about it, because Super Bowl 59 is almost here, man, and now it's getting to that witching hour where we're going to see who's really disciplined, who's really about it. And some of those mistakes that you let go and you had plenty of in the regular season, you carry it over in the postseason, it's not going to fly. Like the Ravens and them penalties, you bring that shit into the postseason and back yourself up all the time. And you do that, you're not going to use Derrick Henry as much. I mean, that's going to be an issue. So we'll definitely see. I talked a lot about Sam Darnold and the Vikings just because they played last night. It was the last game of the season, so I kind of wanted to mix that in to this instead of making another video about Sam Darnold, which I probably still will anyway, because that game was fascinating for a couple of reasons. I just kind of wanted to slide my analysis of that game in here because it's snowing. We had a snowstorm, so it kind of messed up my time of releasing videos. But love y'all. See you on the next one. Peace.